This Friday, October 31st, 2025, what seemed impossible has happened. President Donald J. Trump didn't just speak, he acted. With a single order that echoed through the halls of power in Washington and shocked enemy capitals from Moscow to Beijing, Trump mandated that the Pentagon immediately resume nuclear weapons testing. For the first time in 33 long years of strategic slumber, America signals that it will no longer stand idly by. This is not a routine exercise. It is a paradigm shift. It is the sound of a giant awakening that the globalist establishment preferred to keep asleep. What we witness today is not just a military decision. It is the rewriting of the rules of 21st century survival. The era of American weakness, of strategic apologetics that defined the last few decades, has just been sealed. The world holds its breath, for the game has changed, and old certainties have been pulverized by the courage of a leader who refuses to accept second place for America. Why now? The answer is clear to any patriot watching the horizon. While Washington bureaucrats lost themselves in internal debates and the industrial media complex promoted cultural wars, our adversaries did not rest. Putin's Russia, arrogant, tests invincible missiles. Dubbed Flying Chernobyls, Communist China, in its silent march towards global domination, expands its arsenal in secret, believed to have conducted clandestine low-grade tests. They gambled on our complacency. They saw the voluntary moratorium of 1992 not as a gesture of peace, but as a certificate of decay. Trump, on his Truth Social platform, went straight to the point. Because of other countries' testing programs, I have instructed the Department of War to start testing our nuclear weapons on an equal basis. This is the Reagan doctrine revived. Peace through strength. The president hates the destructive power of the N-word, as he calls it, but he was forced to act. And as soon as the order was given, the swamp went into a panic. Almost instantly, the so-called experts, the same ones who were wrong about China, wrong about Russia, and wrong about Afghanistan, rushed to the microphones. Daryl Kimball, the head of the Arms Control Association, a title that sounds like surrender, accused the president of being misinformed and out of touch. They claim this will trigger a chain reaction and blow apart the Non-Proliferation Treaty. What they truly fear is not proliferation. It is the undeniable demonstration of American sovereignty. They are terrified of a leader who doesn't ask for permission from the United Nations or Brussels bureaucrats to defend his own people. They prefer a world where America is shackled by unilateral treaties while our enemies do as they please. Their reaction is not about safety. It is about control. And today, Donald Trump broke that control. Columnist Rich Lowry perfectly captured the essence of the situation. Trump simply trampled a superstitious taboo. The progressive elite turned the absence of testing into a moral imperative, but there is nothing moral about allowing tyrants to develop new weapons while ours age in uncertainty. Morality lies in protecting the nation. Morality lies in ensuring that the arsenal that prevents World War III works with 100% certainty. The Stockpile Stewardship Program, based on computer simulations, is a useful tool, but it will never replace reality. Relying solely on simulations while Russia tests the Poseidon, a torpedo designed to create radioactive tsunamis, is not prudence. It is strategic suicide. America conducted over 1,000 tests during the Cold War, not to start a war, but to prevent it. The truth has finally come to light. An untested arsenal is just a bluff. And President Trump refuses to bluff with the nation's future. And for those who doubt Trump's seriousness, his direct message to Vladimir Putin days earlier was a chilling warning. As Putin boasted about his unique product, the Burevestnik missile, Trump responded not with panic, but with the calm of one holding the strongest hand. They know we have a nuclear submarine, the greatest in the world, right off their shore, the president said. We're not playing games with them. This is the language tyrants understand. It's not weak sanctions or State Department protest notes. It's undeniable American power, positioned and ready. Trump is reminding the world that while the establishment worried about disarming America, he, during his first term, oversaw a complete update and renovation of the entire existing arsenal. He prepared the nation for this exact moment. The die was cast then, and now the harvest of that strategic preparation has begun. But the battle for America's survival is not only being fought in international waters or at secret test sites in the desert. An equally dangerous, perhaps more treacherous, conflict is taking place right now in the heart of Washington, D.C. While the president confronts China and Russia, a political fifth column tries to paralyze the country from within. The federal government is in its 30th day of shutdown. And who is behind this? The same elements who prefer to see America weak on the world stage. The Democratic Party, consumed by a pathological hatred that Trump himself perfectly defined as Trump derangement syndrome, TDS. They are willing to shut down the government, harm American citizens, and halt essential services, all for a petty political game. They prove once again that their only goal is not to govern, but to obstruct. On his trip through Asia, defending American interests, the president reported that the only question that kept coming up from world leaders was, how did the Democrats shut down the United States of America? And why did the powerful Republicans allow them to do it? This is the humiliation the swamp imposes on the nation. The Democrats, described by Trump as crazed lunatics that have lost all sense of wisdom and reality, are blocking short-term funding resolutions. They demand concessions that, in the president's words, will hurt American citizens. The Senate establishment, with its archaic rules, requires 60 votes to pass funding, allowing a radical minority to hold the entire country hostage. The American people elected a Republican majority to govern, but the system is designed to prevent the will of the people from being done. It was then, on the long flight back from South Korea, that President Trump decided it was time to end this farce. Today, he didn't just suggest, he demanded that Senate Republicans play their Trump card. He ordered them to invoke the so-called nuclear option. The name could not be more appropriate for today. Just as he reactivates the real arsenal to face external threats, he demands the use of the procedural arsenal to crush internal obstruction. Get rid of the filibuster and get rid of it now, the president wrote. He understands what career Republicans like Majority Leader John Thune seem slow to grasp. This is not normal political negotiation. This is a war for the functionality of government. The system is broken, and Trump is the only one willing to use the necessary tool to fix it. The president reminded the nation why Democrats fought so hard to maintain the filibuster when they were in the minority, and why they desperately tried to eliminate it when they were in power, only stopped by Manchin and Sinema. If they had the chance, they would use simple majority power to permanently destroy the republic. Trump warned they would substantially expand, PAC, the United States Supreme Court. They would make Washington, D.C. and Puerto Rico states, automatically picking up 4 Senate seats, many House seats, and at least 8 electoral votes. They would do this to create a one-party swamp, a permanent tyranny of the progressive majority. They know the power the nuclear option holds, and they were willing to use it to destroy the nation. Now Trump says it's time to use that same power to save it. Well, now we are in power, Trump declared, and if we did what we should be doing, it would immediately end this ridiculous, country-destroying shutdown. The president sees beyond the immediate impasse. He sees all the other things America would get without the Democratic filibuster. The best judges, the best U.S. attorneys, the best of everything. This is about implementing the agenda the American people voted for. This is about stopping playing by the rules of a game the left manipulates. The concept, he notes, was pushed by Barack Hussein Obama and Harry Reid to take advantage of the Republicans. Now, Trump wants to use it to take advantage of the Democrats. In a battle for national survival, you do not unilaterally disarm your own procedural weapons. You use every tool available in the constitutional toolbox. What the American people witness today is a moment that defines a presidency and an era. These are not two separate stories. The decision to test nuclear weapons and the demand to use the nuclear option in the Senate are the same story. They are the manifestation of a single philosophy. Weakness invites aggression. Weakness on the world stage invites Putin and Xi. Procedural weakness in Washington invites the tyranny of the crazed lunatics. Donald Trump is, perhaps, the only leader in this generation who understands that hesitation is fatal. The establishment, both Republican and Democrat, is paralyzed by fear. Fear of upsetting norms, fear of being called a provocateur by the media, fear of actually using the power entrusted to them. Trump does not have this fear. He sees inaction as the greatest risk of all. Majority Leader John Thune had already pledged to preserve the filibuster in January. He dismissed the idea, saying he hadn't had conversations with the White House about it. This is the voice of the old GOP. It is the voice of controlled decline management. It is the voice that prefers to lose gracefully rather than win decisively. But President Trump is not talking to politicians. He is speaking over them, directly to the American people. The people don't care about Senate norms when they can't pay their bills because of a government shutdown. The people don't care about world opinion when they see China secretly building an arsenal to threaten us. The Washington system is designed to prevent change, to protect incumbents, and to frustrate popular will. Today's order is an earthquake designed to shake that structure to its foundations. The president sealed his argument in a separate Truth Social post, a true call to arms for patriots in Congress. Because of the fact that the Democrats have gone stone-cold crazy, the choice is clear. Initiate the nuclear option, get rid of the filibuster, and make America great again. This is the moral clarity that has been missing in Washington. There is no middle ground. There is no negotiation with people suffering from Trump derangement syndrome. There is no compromise with a party that prefers to see the country shut down rather than see a Republican president succeed. The nation made its choice in 2024. They chose strength. They chose sanity. They chose America first. And now the president is demanding that the Congress he elected fulfills the mandate given to them. America is at a turning point. Today, October 31st, the line has been drawn in the sand. On one side stands the globalist establishment, the unelected bureaucrats, the arms control experts, and the crazed democratic obstructionists. They offer a future of managed decline, of strategic weakness, of apologies, and of internal paralysis. On the other side stands a president who understands power, both real and political, and is not afraid to use it to defend American sovereignty and the will of the people. The system may try to resist. The indignant media will scream. Our European allies, accustomed to America's free protection, will complain. But the truth has already been exposed. The sleeping giant has awakened, and it is no longer asking for permission. What happens next will define the fate of the Republic. Will Senate Republicans follow John Thune to an honorable defeat, or will they find the courage of their leader and use the nuclear option to save the country? Will the world watch our nuclear tests and see steely resolve, or will it see a divided administration, paralyzed by the president's own party? History will exact a price from those who tried to manipulate the nation's destiny, whether in Beijing or within the Beltway. Today, the battle for freedom has been raised to a new level. The system trembled with these revelations. And now, more than ever, the future of the nation rests in the hands of the people. The world is watching.